Hi everyone, my name is Flora Liao, and for my K Fellowship, I'll be talking about the effects of topical nitrosomonas eutropha on the adolescent skin microbiome and acne vulgaris. And my mentors are Ms. Kobayashi, Dr. Prez David, and Dr. Sato. First, I would like to thank Papa Jack for his mission to help students do summer research at Yolani School. It has been a great joy to be part of K Fellowship this summer. First, I would like to provide some background on the human skin. The human skin is the largest organ on the human body and is home to several microorganisms which make up a microbiome. And I would like to talk about the transient, which is the resident deeper layers of the skin and is the permanent flora that is in our skin microbiome. And then the resident is the superficial layers of the skin. And so, to talk about host factors in our skin microbiome, it really includes lifestyle and diet, which could influence the microbiome, and also skin pH, where men has a higher skin pH than women, and also age, gender, and also medications and cosmetics can all alter your skin microbiome. An imbalance in skin microorganisms, such as the overgrowth of Staphylococcus aureus, alongside a reduction in Staphylococcus epidermis, can result in dysbiosis. This is where the skin microbiome is not working in harmony, and the microorganisms are not properly working to perform their functions, and this is a loss of homeostasis. And this could cause a lot of skin disorders, inflammation, itching, scaling, which is all results of dysbiosis. And I'll be talking about a specific type of dysbiosis, which is acne, which is a common inflammatory skin condition that affects 90% of adolescents and young adults. And it's an overproduction of sebum, which is oil, in the skin sebaceous glands. And Cutibacterium acnes is the main causation bacteria in the skin microbiome that causes acne. And so probiotics are live organisms that I'll be looking at in targeting acne vulgaris, which play a major role in maintaining human health and disease prevention. And probiotic bacterial therapy may have a potential in treating skin conditions. And therefore, I'll be looking at the beneficial effects and how that can inhibit the growth of Cutibacterium acnes. And so Nitrosomonas eutropha is the specific probiotic I'll be looking at. It's a non-pathogenic ammonia oxidizing bacteria that naturally lives in the soil and as well as the normal flora of our skin. And ammonia oxidizing bacteria is where it utilizes ammonia from the sweat to generate nitrate and nitric oxide. And studies have shown that nitrate and nitric oxide are associated with beneficial physiological effects and anti-inflammatory responses, which we're looking at acne. And so, due to modern hygienic practices, Nitrosomonas eutropha is no longer present in sufficient amount to have a beneficial effect. This includes frequent bathing, use of harsher hygienic products, and also antibacterial soaps. So I'll be looking at reintroducing it and looking at its impacts. And so for my research question, I'll be looking at how does Nitrosomonas eutropha application alter the skin microbiome composition in female adolescents? Does Nitrosomonas eutropha specifically reduce and cause an inhibition of growth of Cutibacterium acnes? And how does the microbial diversity change, which research shows that microbial diversity directly relates to health of the skin microbiome? And do topical probiotics reduce skin inflammation and improve skin texture? And so for my recruitment, I specifically looked at Asian females ages 14 to 18, and they were because of the host factors I mentioned earlier, it was more beneficial to concentrate in a specific type of population in my study. And I used the grade 1 acne scale because I didn't want to exacerbate this existing conditions. So I looked at grade 1 mild acne, and that was a main motivation of why I wanted to do this research is because a lot of people in my community do have grade 1 or worse acne. And so this study was done in a 4-week duration where each week I did swabbing and imaging. First week, I did a baseline trial where everyone had used the same skincare products, so I could start everyone at the same baseline microbiome. Then I looked at an active spray where I autoclaved the nitrosomonas spray, which kills the bacteria. Then I did active spray, and each week the students had to do a daily form, and it was to track the metadata of the activities that the host factors that impact variability in the skin microbiome. I asked questions like going to the beach, doing sports, and also your diet as well. That could all affect and confirm my variability in my results. And so for my methods, I directly skin swabbed each participant's cheek, and I did DNA extraction using QIAGEN Power Soil. I did 16S gene amplification using PCR, and I sequenced using Manaya nanopore sequencing. And so to target my first research question, does Nitrosomonas reduce and inhibit growth of Cutibacterium acnes? I directly looked at the relative abundance, and this is an example of sample 3 that I conducted. And the microbiome sequencing identified a characteristic bacteria that typically represent on the skin microbiome. I looked specifically at Cutibacterium, Nitrosomonas, and Staphylococcus. And so looking at sample 3, 3-1 is the swab of the initial, and 3-2 is the swabbing of the after the baseline, and 3-3 is after inactive, and 3-4 was the swabbing after participants did active spray. And so looking at all 4 participants, there wasn't a noticeable trend in the increase of beneficial Nitrosomonas bacteria. To provide some context, I had 8 total participants, but only 4 went through sequencing. And looking at the relative abundance chart, you can see that all participants had Cutibacterium acnes, but there wasn't an increase seen in dysbiosis or beneficial bacteria. And you can see on the very right, that is the control where I sequenced Nitrosomonas eutropha. And you can see that in all participants, they had minimal to a lot of nitrosomonas. And so looking at Cutibacterium specifically to answer my research question, there was an overall decrease in Cutibacterium acnes after the spray was introduced. You can see sample 1, 3, and 4, it all have Cutibacterium, all have a percent difference in decrease in Cutibacterium acnes. And T2, T4 basically means the time point 4, which is after the swab, subtracted by the after the baseline. So you can see a negative decrease in 1, 3, and 4, and a positive increase in sample 2. And so to target my second research question, how does microbiodiversity change? I looked at the alpha diversity measure, and so the Shannon and Simpson index emphasizes the Shannon emphasizes the rare species, while the Simpson index emphasizes on the dominant species in the skin microbiome. And you can see there was an increase in all 4 time points. And so to target my second research question, do topical probiotics reduce skin inflammation and improve skin texture? I did visual imaging, and there was no reduction in facial lesions as the results were inconclusive. You can see imaging from the start of the trials and end of trials, and analyzing facial lesions of 3 of the participants from before and after, there were inconclusive results. And so major conclusions found was that the skin microbiome first is altered and microbiome diversity is increased, which is an important factor in a healthy microbiome. And there was a decrease in Cutibacterium acnes. There was a fluctuation of Staphylococcus, and there were no significant visual difference in acne for volunteer participants. Nitrosomonas eutropha also did not have a trend when compared between participants. And so limitations in this study include the study of compliance, which is the consistency in filling out the daily check-in form. Some participants did not fill out the form on a specific date, which reduces the accuracy in the submission of the forms. And you can see that um, there was also confirmation of using the products, which also could be a limitation in participants abstaining from using personal products. And also the study design, it was difficult with human participant recruitment. And so um, I couldn't have a lot of a big sample size. And also the 4-week time point did not cause a long impact in the skin microbiome. And so reflection, I think don't get discouraged, especially when your results don't really go the way that you want to. And definitely stay motivated and also love and have fun with your research. I really enjoyed connecting with my volunteer participants as well. And also, human participant research comes with a lot of challenges in planning. So, my biggest tip is to always plan early beforehand as it will go a long way to having a solid plan. And acknowledgements, I would like to thank Jack Kay again, and also Ilani School, Dr. Chan, Ms. Kobayashi, Mr. Hill, Dr. Pez David, Dr. Sato, and my volunteer participants and also family. Thank you so much.